This is Tuesday's guided reading lesson, and we are reading a story from a book today, which is called Indian Tales. Now, this is a book of Indian traditional tales, which are very old stories that have been told lots and lots of times. Now, the story we're reading today is called Five Men in a Cart. And as normal, if you want to read this for yourself independently, I've taken pictures of all the pages and they are on the homework tab. If you want to listen to me read it, that's fine. I'm about to do that. And then I'll go through your questions at the end as normal. Right, let's have a look at this story then. So it's called Five Men in a Cart. Now, before we start, one thing you need to know is the word guru, which is, well, it says in the story, but it's a bit like a teacher, a guru. And disciples are people that follow this teacher. They think that he or she has some really good ideas, and they listen and they're obedient to what they want. So let's have a read of this story. Five men from the ashram set off in a bullock cart to sell produce from their garden and to buy provisions at the local market. You can see the bullock cart just down here. So the bullocks are these sort of white bulls, and they're pulling the cart with the men inside. They were Guruji the teacher in a bright saffron turban and his four very enthusiastic, very obedient disciples, all in white dhotis and kurtas. Guruji urged his men, "Your guru is like a cow, ever ready to give milk for your benefit. So always, always follow your guru's orders." "Ji ha," said the four men together, their heads wobbling in agreement. Guruji went on, "Make sure you take the essentials to eat and drink. We will not stop at all, as I want to reach the market by noon." Noon is 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. "Ji ha," said the four men. They loaded the cart with a big black pot of rice, jars of water, and a basket filled with fruit and vegetables for selling at the market. They sat in the soft, hay-lined wagon at the back. The cart was drawn by two bullocks with tinkling brass bells on their thick necks, tolling do do dong as the wheels of the cart rattled thup 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 along the rugged road. It was a beautiful day, and the morning breeze tickled their noses. Soon Guruji dozed off, and his head rolled from side to side. On the way, the cart swerved to avoid a troop of monkeys. It gave a big jolt, and Guruji's turban slipped off his head and fell onto the road. "Stop!" cried two of the men. "We must pick up Guruji's turban." "No," cried the other two men. "Don't you remember? Guruji doesn't want to stop at all. He wants to reach the market by noon." The men didn't know what to do. They looked at Guruji for guidance, but their teacher's chest rose and fell with rattling snores. They continued the journey, and the bullock cart wound its way along the road that skirted the edge of the river. High above, the sun blazed fiercely. Guruji woke up feeling very hot. He stroked his bald, damp head. "Where is my turban?" he shouted. Guruji seemed very angry. The four men looked at each other. Then one of them said, "Guruji, it fell when the cart jolted." "Then why didn't you pick it up?" The four men shrugged uneasily. "Guruji, you told us not to stop at all," they said together. "Silly, silly men!" Guruji slapped at his forehead in frustration. "How will I go to the market without my turban? Turn back at once. I need my turban." "Ji ha," said the four men together, and they all wobbled their heads in agreement. The cart turned back in the direction of the ashram. Soon the men spotted the bright saffron turban in the road. They stopped the cart, picked up the turban, and gave it to their teacher. Guruji placed it on his head and wagged his finger at the four men. "Next time, pick up anything that falls on the road. Do you understand me? Do you?" "Ji ha," said the four men, wobbling their heads. "Now hurry up, or we'll never reach the market in time." "Ji ha," said the four men, wobbling their heads once again. The five men in the bullock cart set off for the market once more. Further along the road, Guruji dozed off again. Soon, the droppings of the bullock fell heavily onto the road. Plop, plop, plop. And that is where we're going to pause this story, and we're going to finish it off tomorrow. For now, let's leave them there. Guruji sleeping at the back of the cart, the four disciples, having been given their instructions to pick up anything on the road, and the bullocks happily leaving their droppings along the way, and we'll pick it up tomorrow. For now, let's have a look at your questions then for today. So this is the first part of 5 Men in a Cart. So, first one, find and copy 3 items of clothing from the beginning of the story. So have a think, what is Guruji wearing? What are the men wearing? Then you need to find and copy 3 things that Guruji and his men take to the market. That's at the top of the second page. Now, these find and copy questions are retrieval questions. I'm just asking you to go and look at the writing or go back in the video and see if you can copy down 3 items of clothing and 3 things that Guruji and his men take to the market. Why don't the men stop when Guruji's turban falls off? So if you remember, they swerve or they have a jolt and his turban falls off, but why don't they stop? And then when they go back and they find the turban, what command does Guruji give the men after they find his turban? Now we need to do a bit of prediction. The bullocks have left their droppings on the road at the end of this part. What will the men do next, do you think, and why? So what are they going to do and why are they going to do it? For number 6, do you think they're going to get to the market on time? Remember, Guruji wants to get to the market by noon, by 12 o'clock. Are they going to get there on time, do you think? A bit of inference to do here. How do you think Guruji feels about his men? Why? So how do you think he feels about them? Do you think he likes them? Do you think he doesn't like them? Do you think he feels frustrated? Do you think he feels annoyed? Do you think he's happy with what they're doing? Why do you think? And then we've got a short sentence. The 4 men shrugged uneasily. I want you to find and copy from that sentence a verb and an adverb. Remember, a verb is a doing word, so what are the men doing? And an adverb tells us how they are doing it. And that's today's guided reading. We'll finish off the story tomorrow. For now, go do your questions, and as ever, send them to your teacher on eSchools when you're finished. All right, bye-bye.